Hey y'all, and welcome to the longest running poker space. I'm your host Peaches. How you doing, ASG?
Doing all right.
Awesome. Hey Isaac. Whenever you can get up here, Isaac, go ahead and request. It probably would be the fastest. I know you're probably busy, but I'm going to do a few housekeeping things while we wait to see if others join us. I know some folks have some things going on this today, so they're not going to join us, but I still want to give a chance to those who may be able to. So, some housekeeping things. Many thanks to my sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need a tailor made workout plan to help you lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results can design that plan. Follow them on Twitter and check out their site at elevatorresultspt.com. The kickoff to my daily WSOP coverage will be May 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's 9 a.m. Vegas time. Happy to say that these two gentlemen, ASG and Isaac, are going to be helping out with that coverage. I'm really excited about some of the things that we're going to do during that coverage. Should be fun. So, again, the kickoff show is on May 26th at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Vegas time. The meetup game is going to be June 21st at the Bellagio at 1 p.m. Come one, come all. There's a bobblehead shark trophy up for grabs. Um, this will be the fifth official Spaces meetup game. Many thanks to Sean McCormick and the staff at the Bellagio for hosting us, and of course for the free pizza. I want to give a little mention to our sponsors and donors for the Splash the Pots. And I'll go into these a little deeper as it gets closer. I really wanted to get the date out so people can have a chance to plan flights and hotels and so forth. But so far, the Green Visor Gang has committed to donating stuff for the event. Also, John Robertson has donated some poker books. Sarah O'Connor's donated 2 autographed copies of her book, and some Spaces favorites, Ruben and WePro, have also committed to a donation. And we'll get to that as the meetup game gets a little closer. So I'm just going to go ahead and get us started, and hopefully the others will join us here shortly. Those that can make it anyway. Like Karen's at Cherokee playing poker, and she's doing really well. So good job to her. She finished in the money of 2 tournaments that I know of so far. So congrats to Karen. Hopefully she's going to run good today. Um, Here's Fats. Let me get him a microphone. Um, a reminder, no matter how you plan to pay for your WSOP buy-ins, whether in cash in person or credit card or PayPal, you have to have the WSOP Plus app on your phone or whatever device. So download it now and get familiar with it, people, before you go to Vegas. Be reminded the third and final step to being able to pay via a credit card or via that app, let's say, is that in-person verification when you arrive at the WSOP. So go ahead and get the app downloaded so that you'll be ready when you get there with only having to do the verification steps. So there you go. All right, I'm going to give a little background of how we got to where we're at today. Um, uh, Last year, I ran a fantasy league here in Spaces where 19 of us adopted the teams that were already in place in the 25K fantasy league. And we did it via a random drawing. So it was just a sweat. Everybody had a team. I think we paid $10 each. Everybody had a team. The teams were already, made and drafted by those that were the team captains in the official league. And then whatever team won, that person got whatever we collect, $190, I think it was, because I do think it was $10 a team. But anyway, so, and it was fun and, kind of a fun sweat all summer long. But during that sweat, many of us were like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we could somehow draft teams in 2025 and do like a spaces draft, and maybe, have 10, 15 owners, whatever, and draft teams. Like instead of just, drawing a team that's already drafted, that we could do our own teams. And so, I don't know, maybe 2.5 months ago, I reached out to ASG because he was one of those people that was interested in that and voiced an opinion last year he'd be willing to help. So I reached out to him and we had a phone call. And during that phone call, we decided this looks way too much like work for some volunteers. And the reason it became work was on the backside when we had to figure out the points for people winning. Because anybody that makes cash in any tournament gets 1 point. So, say in the main event, that's 1,500 people, right? So, we have to assign 1 point to 1,500 people. And so, as we looked at it, it looked like a major ordeal and undertaking because there was no way we could just, tap into databases and pull out the information, so to speak. It would really be mostly manual labor, and who's got the time to do that? We certainly don't, and we certainly don't for being a couple of volunteers. So during the phone call, like the light bulb went out in my head and said, why are we trying to kind of reinvent the wheel? Why don't I just have a team? Why don't I, have a team and get, 9 other people to come on my team and we'll pay, you know, $52. It ended up being 52.50 each. And we'll just draft a team out of the ODBaker League, which is a $525 buy-in per team. And so it was kind of exciting to ASG and I. And so I just started, I just made a random list of people and started going down that list asking people if they would be interested in a $52.50 investment until I got 9 other people. And so I don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt or be disappointed that they're not on our team. I only, made it a team of 10. And honestly, it was, I can't tell you there was a lot of rhyme or reason in the way I, made this list. I just made a list and kept going down it until I, found 9 people that wanted to do it. And so don't let me,
Liar, you picked your 9 favorite people on Spaces, and you
oh,
know it.
okay, that's your story. You could stick to it, but I don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt. And honestly, maybe next time we'll draft more than one team, or maybe we'll do the big league. Let's see how this goes. Maybe next year we'll say, hey, let's get 25 people and invest $100 each and do a big 25K team. So, I mean, I think I'm a dreamer. So, I can see this evolving into lots of different things if that's what we want. Or maybe we'll hate it by the end of the summer. We'll be like, fuck that. We're never doing it again. I don't know, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun sweat. It's going to be fun trying to learn about it and figure it out. So go ahead, Fax.
25 people times 100 is only
Oh God, yeah.
2,500, not 25,000.
Thank you, but you guys get the
But
gist.
if
So
you
go
could
ahead.
get us in for that price, I would go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you guys know, you get the picture. So, and I definitely wouldn't be doing a league of 25 people at 1,000 each because I just think that would be, it's not what I'm about here in Spaces. I want to do stuff that we can all afford to do and have fun doing it without a big monetary investment, right? That's kind of where I'm at in the world. Um, just because I want more people involved. I don't want to price people out of it. And so I would never do a 25 times $1,000, buy-in. But anyway, that's how we got to where we're at today. And I appreciate ASG's ear and input to get us to where we are today. So I want to start out not only welcoming everybody, but I thought that the first thing we should probably do is talk about a name. And I do want to mention a couple of other things. First of all, Brian and I were supposed to have a phone call yesterday, and we didn't get to it. So as soon as he and I can get a phone call. I'm sure it's about when he's scheduling to go to Vegas to pay our buy-in for us. But him and I were just both too busy yesterday to get to it. So I'm sure we will this weekend. The other thing is the official site has not been updated with the new rules and regs or details for this year. And I was really kind of hoping it would have been by now, but it's okay. It's not. We'll just keep waiting for it. I do know there's 2 rule changes thus far. One, the winner of a bracelet tournament will get extra 25 bonus points for winning that tournament. As it currently stood, the winner of a bracelet tournament got like 100 points. Then the second place person got 90 points, and the third place person got 80 points. And quite frankly, they didn't think that like there was enough of a point spread between first and the rest of the field. It was only a 10-point spread. So they added 25 bonus points to whoever wins a bracelet event, which I think is a great change. The second rule change is field size bonus was capped at 81 players for events of 1K or less. And now they're changing that to $1,500 or less. And that I'm just letting you know that because those are just two things I heard about. And you guys, I put it in our chat, and but I wanted to kind of go over that again. So let's go on to team names, you guys. So I asked people to submit names, and I'm not going to tell anybody who submitted the team names because um, I don't want them to, feel any kind of way if we make fun of their team name that they submitted or we don't like their team name that they submitted, because that's not what this is about. So I'm not going to say who submitted the names, but I'm going to go down the list of names, and I want you to tell me any that you favor or any that you don't like. And I'm not going to take a vote. And I say that because there are some names on this list that are a hard no for me, and I would never be the owner of a team name some of these names. And it's okay because I also see the humor in some of these names, and I love it that they were submitted. Um, so it's not a vote. I just want your input, and let's go through the list. So the first name on the list, and I hope I'm saying it right, but shenanigans. So shenanigans, but with ERS at the end of it. So you guys tell me how to say it. The next one is Spacers. So this one, it's going to be like Team Spacers is the second name. The third name, which I just submitted, I admit it for the fun of it, Team Peaches. I'm not making our team that name. The next name is Team Jack King Off. The next name is Team Space Spawns. The next name is Team Straw Crabs. And I'm going to go over why the person submitted that name and the way they did it in just a minute. The next name is Team Chode Doug. The next name is Team Poker Pals. And the final name that I got was Team Space Cadets. Now, the reason behind the straw crabs name, the person explained it in a message to me. If you write down the words straw and crabs vertically, so S and then T under S and then R under T and A under, so on and so forth. S stands for Sherry, T stands for Todd, R stands for Ryan, A stands for ASG, W stands for Wolf, C stands for Chess, R stands for Real Fats, A stands for Asimov, B stands for Brian, and S stands for Scumborough, which I think was a pretty creative name, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're going down the fats lane there. No, I have to give it up. That's good fats. I appreciate every time you call me that.
How did he know, Fats? How did he know he blew your cover? But anyway, so any comments on any of those names? Any you like more than, or any that you are like a hard no on? Anybody? ASG, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead.
I mean, the space stuff is pretty standard, fine name. I feel like the jacking off joke's kind of overdone. I don't know.
Yeah, my team's never going to be named Jacking Off. Love you for the submission because I laughed my butt off. Yeah, now you know why it's not a vote. Okay, Burrows. Any favorites? Any hard nose?
No, I'm good. Yeah, it's I'm with the majority. I don't have a preference at the moment.
Okay, no worries. Um, Fats. Any preferences or any that are hard nose?
Well, yeah. Well, you're already hard node peaches, so. Um,
Yes.
but
Yes, no, I had to submit
I
that
just,
one.
the straw crabs. At least it kind of attaches to each of us in a way. So.
All right. I appreciate that input. And for those that aren't here, I'm going to give them a chance to let me know as well. I'm going to put them in the chat so they can let me know any comments they may have. Isaac, I don't know if you can only listen this morning or afternoon or what, but if you want to come up and give us your input on that when you get a chance, that'll be great. No problem. All right. So I wanted to talk about your first three picks. So, in looking at some of the stuff that was done last year, it's kind of interesting because some of the people that scored really highly on their team, some of them were only bought for like $1. And I can't imagine them staying at $1 this year because they did so well last year, but maybe I'm naive. ASG, do you want to start out with your first three or top picks?
So yeah, I wasn't sure how to do this, and I guess now will be the time where I kind of throw in maybe like, and it goes with kind of what you're saying. We, unless if we have like a real good reason, we put a cap of like $70 or $80 is the most we'd spend on like one player, because
Right.
as he says, it changes a lot. So obviously I would say Scott Seaver, but I think his price is going to skyrocket this year. But if it somehow is the same as it was before, he would definitely be a pick for me. And then Pads was only $7 last year. And in terms of somebody who will stay cheap, yeah, I would say I would take like Ari Angle for $1 over like Kessler in terms of somebody who I think could actually win, especially with the extra bonus for winning this year.
Well, and isn't it interesting that Robert Mizuraki was only $1 too last year? I was like, how did he get listed as $1? I'll never understand.
Well, these drafts with their auction drafts. So if he was picked towards the end or towards the beginning, or maybe towards the end, then people might have already filled out their teams, and then you can just get
Right,
for $1 the last player that nobody else thought of.
right. Well, and I also don't you think it's in our favor that we will get to see everybody's prices before we actually I mean, am I thinking about that correctly? Like we're going to see the list of players and their prices before we have to.
Well, it's two different types of strategies. If you're in a draft, then the strategy becomes when to lay back and let people like Mizuraki just sit there and possibly get them real cheap after teams have filled up. Whereas if you have a specific budget, then you've got to, distribute your money where you think you're going to get the best bang for your buck on the preset prices. So it's
Well,
two totally different strategies.
right, but I think in the league that we're doing, that we're just going to go look at a list of the players that already have a dollar amount assigned to them, and we have a $200 budget, and we
Correct.
just go down that list and pick any of those players on that list. And so, which is way different than a live draft when we're trying to, you know,
Right.
save our budget, so to speak.
So now some of the things that we do want to consider are obviously anybody that we pick that somebody else picks, then we're only competing with that team with our other 9 players, in essence. So players that may be very popular picks, but you might want to try to just avoid them so you're not kind of stuck in the same groove.
Right.
I think a guy like Kessler, the one thing you have going for you with Kessler is he plays in just about every event, and he does cash a lot. Now, hopefully, you'll get one or two runs where he'll go deep, but he does enter a lot and cash a lot, so you get maximum opportunity with a guy like Kessler.
Well, and I'm going to tell you,
But he is a min casher by trade.
right. And I'm going to tell you, I looked it up because I thought, excuse me, like you know, he plays a lot of tournaments and you really want to recruit people that have a full schedule for the summer. And we all know, you know, Alan Kessler is one of those people. But you know what? He didn't earn very many points. I I printed the top. How many pages is this? Hold on.
He had a very, very bad year last year in the WSOP, like the least cashes he's had in a while. But like the year before, I think, I don't know what his points would have been, but I think he had almost, he was in double digits in cashes.
I printed the first 5 pages of players in points earned last year. I printed, so this is the top 91 players from last year, with 51 points being the lowest on this list. And there were more pages, and Alan's not even in the top 91 as far as getting points last year.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he
didn't
definitely
you
had a
read
bad
about
year
all
last
his?
year.
Yeah, didn't you read about all his bad beats though? I
Yeah,
mean, he was
no.
just super unlucky the whole
That's
time.
right.
Come on.
I forgot.
I can't disagree. But I looked at him because I was like, you know what? Last year he went for $1. He certainly would be worth $1 this year because of how many tournaments he plays. And he just won a ring, right? He just won a run good ring. He's been doing really well this spring. So I'm like, you know what? He could be one of our, you know, dollar
Well,
players.
Did
as I
anybody
said, it's a
see the post yesterday that the um, Planet Hollywood's reopening their poker room and they're running a Kessler chainsaw series?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
pouring.
And Kessler was there working the floor the first couple hours in a suit and tie.
Okay, no. He was actually running. He was working at the Run Good series at Grayton in California. But his
It
series
is the cheap.
starts. The poker room did
Oh, that
open.
starts this week.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
poker room at the Planet Hollywood did open yesterday. They have 23 tables, and next week the Chainsaw Mixed Game Festival starts at Planet Hollywood.
Just the sight of him in the shirt and tie.
He looks
Uh,
so nice and dapper.
But yeah,
Never seen him before. I made sure I made a copy of that picture because you may never see him look like that again.
He
but
looked like a
yeah.
presentable gentleman. So
But the
ASG, I
point
want to
is
make.
though, the
Go
point
ahead.
though I was trying to make though is like, yeah, Kessler was only $1, but so was Robert Mizrachi and so was Ari Engel, and I would
Right.
definitely take both of them over Alan Kessler.
Well, I'm going to tell you
Well,
that Alan didn't. I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. I have a list of 24 players or 23 players, and Alan's not on it. After I looked at it all, I was like, I think, like ASG just said, um, Kristen Foxen, Robert Mizrachi, Ari Engel are the better buy for $1, so to speak.
I wouldn't argue
Yeah,
that because
geez, oh Pete's. Kristen went for the same price
Oh
as
no,
Kessler last
no,
year. Oh, okay.
no, no, no,
No,
no,
I
no,
got you.
no, 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 no,
I thought you had costs in there. Sorry.
and I'm
no.
pretty
Let me look
sure
up what her
Ben
cost.
Wang was pretty cheap too. Like
But
he's low limit.
ASG, how dare you act like Kessler can't win a bracelet? This is a year he's due.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
think
I mean,
I'm going to tell you. I think he is going to win one. But Kristen went for $11 last year. Big
yeah,
Hooney,
the
that makes more sense.
Big Hooney went for $15.
one of the things also, and this would be something interesting, that all the members of our teams could research is you want to make sure, like if you particular players that if they're planning on playing like a full
Right.
schedule or how
Right.
big of a schedule. Because I'll give you an example. I'm a friend of Randy O'Hell's, who has been a really good tournament player in the WSOP year after year after year. And I put him on a fantasy team last year, and then after I had already submitted it, I found out that he was only planning on playing one or two events, and so I
Right.
did get my money's worth for him.
And that's what I've been telling everyone. When you give me your list of draft order, make sure you do, a little recon. Look at their social media. Now it's early, so some may not have posted it, but they may be posting their their staking packages, right? So then you can look at their staking package and go, oh yeah, they have a pretty full schedule. So they would be good for our fantasy league. So there's, lots of different ways to look at it. And before I go to draft, once I get everybody's submissions and make my master draft list, I'm going to like probably the top 20 people. I'm going to go to all their social media and look and see, you know, like somebody posted that they're not going to have a full schedule this year because their wife's going to have a baby. They're only going to be there half the time that they normally are. So, we definitely want to take that into consideration when um, putting those people on our list. So, ASG, am I okay to put you down as Seaver, Pads, Ari, or were those just points you were trying to make?
I mean, it really, definitely Seaver and Pads, and I'll throw in just to make sure that he gets on the list. I'll throw in Yaki.
Spell the name.
I think it's Yockey.
Yeah, I think it is too. Okay, I just want to make sure I was thinking of this right person. Okay, Fats, give me your top three picks. And again, I want you to send me your complete list in a DM or text, people. So right.
Okay, I did not put. I thought we were just doing the team names today because I thought the official list to pick from wasn't out yet. So, but I had Kessler in my mind just because he plays a lot, and but outside of that, I hadn't done much other research.
Okay, no worries at all. Burrows, top three picks.
So I have a question. Do we know yet when the actual 25K draft is compared to when we draft?
Yes.
Have we confirmed that?
Okay, so the 25K Fantasy League draft is the 27th of May. We do not have a draft date for us yet, though.
Okay. And it kind of sucks because, well, yeah, I guess he could talk about on that podcast with Amanda, but like D-Nigs used to have that poker podcast.
Yep.
And he would always break down what he thought about everybody after the draft on there.
Right.
So that it's almost like D-Nigs is so plugged in. It's almost like I'd really like to still be able to hear his opinion because he's going to know who's going to play and who's not,
Well, let me just say to you that
more than any of us can figure out by following their social media. So,
and let me just say to you,
I was going to say, I just hope maybe we can get some feedback from Daniel before we draft.
Well, and I'm just going to say to you that this list I'm putting together is just the framework. It's not the list, because I also think we will garner very valuable information while that draft is going on. And, we're watching the draft. And, I think we'll garner a lot of information, such as, oh, let's draft this person. Somebody goes, oh, no, they're not coming for the whole summer. They have a light schedule. We're not drafting them. So I say to you that when I'm asking for your input for this list right now, it's just to kind of get a framework and get some names on this list. And we're going to continue to tweak the list because people are going to be sending me DMs like, you saw what I put in our group chat. Hey, this person, I can't remember who, or maybe ASG. I think both of us put something in there about a player. and what they're going to do or not do this summer. And I'm sure we're going to continue to, all of us are going to see stuff like that and put it in our chat so we know, yes, we want them on our list, or no, take them off the list because, they're only playing 3 tournaments and they're not playing a full schedule. So this is an evolving list until the moment I have to go to the draft. And Burrows, like you, I want to hear what Daniel says too.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. And I think ASG was implying he's absolutely right that Seaver should be number one. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I feel like he should cost the most, and if he's not the most expensive, like, I think, I don't know. Like Fat said, a lot of people are going to have them too. So it's almost like a wait and see with the list,
Well,
because there'll be a price point where you almost have to take Seaver if he's cheap enough. But, like Fats is saying, there's a competitive advantage to taking people that are, probably won't be picked as much and hoping they,
Yeah.
have some good runs and win
And
some
to
bracelets.
SEM's
So
point,
I definitely agree with
and to
Fats there.
SEM's point, once he gets over $100, I don't think he's worth it anymore.
Well,
I
and I'm
gotta.
just going to tell you that I wanted to start this discussion because the more we talk about it, I think the more we're going to laser focus into what we want and don't want. Like we just talked about Kessler. And I'm pretty sure all of us are pretty much in agreement, although we would love him on our team, that he's not a priority for us, right? And so he's probably not going to end up on the team. Um, but I wanted to start this conversation to get our juices flowing so that we kind of are like all on kind of the same, wavelength. We got to keep our eyes and ears open. We got to disseminate the information to each other. Um, you know, if you look at this draft of last year, Jeremy Osmus was your number one scorer with 388 points. John Raisnier was second place with 336 points, and Scott Seaver was third place with 334 points. And Kelvin Anderson, who I don't even know this, Kelvin Anderson, had 283 points. And John Riordan had 281 points. So that's your top 5. Now in sixth place was Phil Ivey with 267 points. But is Phil going to have a full schedule this year? We don't know.
I got a question on your list. Where did Scumbarrow come up? Because I remember from the Space Jam League, he was like the best player ever to play in the league.
I mean, that's just what you thought, Fats. Because I mean, you got how many points versus me? Never mind. All right,
and
we'll move
and
on.
to AS,
If we're gonna draft anybody in the league, as discussed in the back channels, it would be Todd Rizzo.
Well, you can
I
only
like
pick
it.
players who are either were drafted in the auction draft or are listed as a bonus player.
Right. And to
Gotcha.
ASG's point, Yaki was number 9th player on the list, and he had 240 points.
Oh, one thing though, I have to say, if there's one person that if we pick them to be on our team, I'm going to have to drop out of the league.
Who's that?
And BJ.
You're so funny. Okay.
We cannot draft. We cannot draft King High.
All right.
Well, one thing I can promise you is that Phil Ivey will not be tweeting out his schedule. So we're going to need somebody like Daniel to find that one out because,
Well,
Phil doesn't interact a
right.
lot on
And word
social
did
media.
get out last year before it started that he was going to have a pretty full schedule. So the word does get out, even if he may not be
I
the
might
one.
be able to back channel that information somehow.
Yeah, there you go. Is there anything anybody is curious about that we need to look into besides the bonus player situation, which I'm sure once they release the rules and regs, we're going to get a bigger picture about that. But
Did
anything
we
else?
get a disclosure statement on on how much you're skimming off the top of this league?
Absolutely nothing. As always, Sherry's working for free just for the fun of it.
So absolutely no disclosure statement.
No disclosure statement because there's nothing to disclose. But other than that, okay. But again, is there anything anybody wants to know about that we don't know yet? So I can make a note of it so that when the rules and regs come out, we can make sure we look it up and cover anything anybody's, concerned
I got
about.
a question about one play. What did Phil Hellmuth go for last year?
Phil Hellmuth, he was way down on the list he didn't get very many points at all last year. And I'm sure it's because he had terrible bad beats, right?
I mean, he's not going to play the main this year.
Yeah, I was going to
right.
point out that he's not going to play the main. However, there's not a more motivated person to win another bracelet out there.
Okay, so Phil went for $72.
No, that's too much.
And he scored.
Yeah, that feels like a massive overpay. But he won a bracelet the summer before, so he was coming off that.
Well, he ended up with 73 points. And again, first place, Jeremy Osmus had 388 points. Same thing with Daniel Negreanu. Where did I see his name? Anyway, I lost where I saw his name. But anyway, all right. Now, anybody curious as to my top 3 picks?
Of course.
I thought it was me, Scumbar, and Wolfie.
I don't know. Wolfie may qualify for one of the top 3 picks. He's been doing pretty good for us here in Spaces League, and then he won the seat. He did pretty good with when he won the seat for the Jam, and I don't know. Wolfie may need a seat at the table, but honestly, I went with the top 3 that were on the draft last year that finished high in points: Osmus, Racenier, and Seaver. All 3 of them play big schedules. Like Jeremy cashed 23 tournaments, John 21 tournaments, and Scott 17 tournaments. So I really just picked all 3 of them in that order. So that's where I'm at with that.
Well, I definitely would say that you can fill up a good solid 60% of your team with players $20 or less easily, or even $10 or less.
Well, okay.
and get good quality in there.
I'm going to give you some prices of how of the people and what they went for last year. So Jeremy Osmus was $81. John Racenier was $36. Scott Seaver was $37. Kelvin Anderson, who finished 4th in points, was $3. John Riordan, I think it's Riordan, $18. Phil Ivey, $16. Brian Rast, $37. Chance Corinth, $73. Bryce Yockey, $13. Big Hooney, $15. Yayo Perez, $8. Dong Chin, $1. Kristen Foxen, $11. Adam Hendricks, $33. Who's this? Robert Mizuraki, $1. Ari Engel, $1. That's your top 16 players, finishers. So just to give you a little idea.
One more player that I would have to back out if he was on our team, and that would be King Alec.
But you would get our team would probably get free sandals. Come on. Oh, that would kind of be fun, wouldn't it? I still want to see what sandals he sells. Selfishly, what can I say? All right, ASG, you good with where we're at with this?
Yeah, I guess. As it said, it's just hard without prices. Like even when you listed there, like one of them was 30 and one of them was 80, so it's a large difference when you're talking about total budget.
Yep.
And and in terms of like serious no's, yeah. Besides the Kessler for $1, I know he did semi decent last year, but I don't trust. I think he might have played more because he got into the Hall of Fame. I don't trust Patrick Antonius to play any kind of real schedule. He normally doesn't, so I would avoid him.
Yeah, I don't. He's not even on my radar. But one person that came on my radar is Shannon Shore.
Yeah.
Shannon is killing it this spring. He's absolutely killing it. So he would be somebody that I would hope that would go for less than $5 that I would definitely want to draft for us.
But does he do like that's the question is who does is he he's in the high roller scene, so he'll probably do a decent. I'm looking for like high roller mixed game people.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know he just plays no limit, I think, but yeah, he's a good choice though.
So I like all of yous. I know that it's early and there's yet a lot of information for us to wait to come out, but I also want us to be thinking, about the things we're looking for. I think it's important that we have these discussions so that, because like a couple of things that Fat said, I was like, oh yeah, that's yep, we need to add that to our thinking process for sure.
I think once we actually see the salaries that we'll be drafting from, it'll be a lot easier for people to go in and look at it and say, oh, I really like this guy or I really like that guy.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I'll probably do is have a space when I'm doing the draft and we can,
Well, when you're doing the draft, don't you just submit your roster that you want because everybody can. You're just filling your budget out.
Right. I don't know like how that's submitted. Does he have a form? I don't know how. I don't know.
But you're not in the draft like they are for the one where they pay for it. You just have to. Your team's paid for, and you have a deadline to turn your team in by.
Right. Exactly. So my point is, I am going to look for that input from you guys once we're to that point.
One other question. Do you know that? Are you allowed before the World Series starts? If you've submitted a team, can you edit it and change it before the tournament starts?
I have no idea. Because I don't know how. I don't know if we're going through some kind of. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're doing the draft on day 1A. Or at least it looks like they're doing the draft on day 1A of the Pick the Mystery Millions.
Yes.
So the tournament will already be going on, and then how it worked last year is he's going to not count that event, and then you'll have like a day or two to submit your team.
Right. And I look for it to be pretty much the same this year. Just because it's easier. Like, just don't count the tournament. Like, give us the time we need to get the draft in and for him to collect all the money and all that jazz, right? So, and I don't know how we submit. Like, I don't know if he designed an app, and so I'm going to go on an app or a website.
Last year you could even do it yourself without making a team and without submitting the money. I could make a whole team and just not click submit, and that's how they did it. So I'm planning on doing the same thing this year and submitting to the group, and that's probably how you're going to submit the actual thing is once we agree or whatever, once Sherry's ready, you make the team, you click submit, and then I guess Brian's already given in the money.
All right.
Hey, I just thought of something.
So wait a minute, Fats. Hold on. So when you were on that site playing around with it last year, ASG, was
Yeah,
there a way after you submitted the team to go back in and change something if it was before the deadline?
probably not. But as I said, I didn't click submit to know if you could edit.
Okay.
But I'm leaning no. Yeah.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Go ahead, Fats. Go ahead.
Hey, somebody we might want to consider. I don't know what their price would be, but maybe we ought to draft ODB just in case he's using all this entry money just to free roll his entries into the tournament, and therefore he'll be able to play a lot of events.
Okay, so
Both bakers were in the draft.
yeah, and did not do
I
too
remember that.
good. I'm gonna look up OD Baker. Okay, so OD Baker was 85th finisher, and he costed $50, and he finished with 64 points and cashed 17 tournaments.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I've had the worst time with this app the last couple of days. It's like you would stop talking and then it'd almost be like when you're listening to a podcast, you would go to like 1.25 speed. I have never had Spaces do that
Oh,
before.
that's weird.
Yeah, that is. Anyway, I was just thinking because of your show, how did Scotty Wynn do last year? Um,
Scotty
I'm just
was,
curious.
I didn't see him on any. Now, I don't know if he got drafted because if you remember correctly, Scotty had went to Thailand for a couple of months before the WSOP last year to quote unquote get his act together, right? And so even though he did come and play the WSOP, I don't remember if he had a full schedule or not. And I don't know if I saw him in any of these draft lists.
I think Scotty's still trying to recover from when I took him and Huck's seed out on the same hand in the 5007 stud tournament back in 06.
Oh, now I have the first, what did I say, 5 pages printed, and he's not on these top 91 finishers, so doesn't mean he wasn't drafted, but I don't remember seeing his name anywhere. Um, but that is certainly a name to look out for. I don't know. I don't. I don't know how reliable. How reliable.
Is anybody got any insight on how many events Matt South's going to be playing?
I have not seen anything. I don't know if he's released his schedule, but I'm going to put his name down and I will try to keep an eye out. This is why I think it's so important that we keep touching base on this stuff because it does bring up stuff for me to keep an eye out, for you guys to keep an eye out on.
Hey, maybe we should get Stephanie and send her out as an advanced scout because she was like groupie, like she was in with every poker player last year. So maybe she could get there early and check in with all the poker players and sneak out the schedule for us.
Moving right along because we're not going to,
We're not hiring investigators.
we're not going to put anything on her name or anyone else's name. They're not here to defend themselves. So we're going to keep moving on down the road.
I said, by the way, that comment was not said to insult her. It was complimentary.
Okay.
I have the highest regard for her.
Perfect.
I feel like Josh Aryeh is the ultimate like high risk, high reward player this year, right? Because he's like, if he starts out good, he's going to stick with it and try to win Player of the Year and be playing everything. But if he starts out bad, he's going to not play that much.
But I think he's one of the ones I read something that he's not going to be there the whole summer or something.
Well, I think what he basically said, and I don't know, ASG or Fats, if you recall. I thought he basically said he was going to play a lot early, and then if like what I took it as is if he's in the Player of the Year race and doing good early, he's going to play a bunch of events. But if not, he's not going to play many towards the end of the schedule. Was
Well,
that
and
correct?
honestly, we need to have somebody that wants to. I mean, I get why he's trying to be player of the year and, looking at it that way. But for our team, we want somebody that's, committed to be there the whole summer, not just for player of the year points.
Yeah, guy, that's what I was saying. He's the ultimate high risk, high reward player this
Well,
year. Is
and
that did ASG say, was that what he, is that basically what he implied?
Yeah, yeah, that was my understanding of his tweet as well. Is that he says he does that every year. Is that he plays in the beginning, and if it's going well from him, he keeps it. And if it's not going well, he's not going to chase player of the year, so he doesn't play as many events.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where he's priced, because
well, let me
he's
tell you that.
definitely like your volatile stock.
Well, let
He's
me
like
just
the
tell you.
Bitcoin of this.
I'm going to tell you what he cost last year: $73, and
Yeah, and there's
he
no
only
way
got
with that tweet he'll be. Oh hell no!
yeah,
But there's no way with that tweet he'll be that high this year.
and
I
Well,
wouldn't
I
think.
only
he only garnished 83 points, and he only cashed 9 tournaments. I think we could do better for $73.
Oh
I
hell
only
yeah!
had
Like
one
that's not even a
experience.
consideration.
I've only had one experience with him, and that was in a Raz tournament. And I got to tell you, he is one whiny baby.
Oh, I've heard that before. You're not the first to say that. I think he is a, hell of a poker player, that's for sure.
Well, I think every player of the year winner is not going to go for cheap. Like so,
Agree.
yeah, like maybe he'll go for a little less, but I don't think he's going to go for under 60. Like
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
think he'll go
Sharon,
under 60
how
either.
many years back does your list go?
This is just last year.
I would be interesting. I don't. If you got like maybe the top 100 or 150 for like the last like 3 years, and then maybe looked on the list to see if there's anybody that had steady improvement from year to year that might still be under the radar.
All right. So this is your classroom assignment, Fats. You're going to go on the 25K Fantasy website and you're going to pull up those lists and then you're going to come back to us with that data.
See, now my idea, my idea was to come up with the idea and then distribute it amongst 9 people to do the work.
Well, you're a man of leisure these days and needing things to do since you're no longer sports betting. So we're going to let that classroom assignment be your own.
All right, send me the link to it at least. Make it simple.
Just type in 25K Fantasy and it comes right up.
That's already too complicated for me.
You can do it. I believe in you. Hey, Brian.
I'm out of retirement officially. It's May. What is this? I'm back out of retirement. I don't know. I might have to retire again though, Sherry. I have
Hey, Brian, I got one question for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to play enough events that we should draft you?
Oh, no. I won't even be on the. Can you draft people that aren't drafted? I won't get drafted in the regular draft.
There'll be bonus players. There'll be all kind of players on the list we get to look at.
So like usually the players are chosen from the people that get drafted, right?
Well, no. You'd be surprised because players can be like used multiple times on multiple teams in ODBaker's league.
Uh-huh.
The list seems to be longer. Now, I have not compared the two lists, but it just first glance.
Yeah, because it used to be that he took whatever Daniel's draft was, and then that somehow set the prices and everything, kind of like
right. But then he has a list of bonus players.
Okay.
And
well, maybe I'll be a bonus player.
So the list of bonus players, let me I think I printed some of it. So the list of bonus players had 82. There were 82 bonus players.
Well, the answer to your question, though, regardless of whether I can be picked or not. So I have a couple business things that might come together that would seriously impact my playing, which would mean that I would mainly just focus on the like the ones I like, the weekend $600, $500, slugfest. So
Right.
I played the other night at MGM, actually.
Nice.
It was funny.
Are you still there?
No.
Okay.
I've been there twice in the last week.
Well, you were supposed to tell me when.
Yeah, I forgot. It's been just been, and then like we were supposed to connect yesterday and we didn't.
No, I was telling him. I said we'll connect this weekend, I'm sure.
It's been like back to back. So this week I was in Nashville. I think Denver, Nashville, Vegas.
When were you in Nashville? I was
LA.
just in Nashville. That's hilarious.
I was there Monday, Tuesday. I left early Wednesday morning.
Oh, and I got there on Wednesday. That's hilarious.
Oh, wow, how crazy. Yeah, so I just got back from there and flying around, and we'll see. I don't know.
All right. So tell us your top. We're just like, this is just getting our juices flowing. So nothing is set in stone, but give us who your top 3 picks would be.
I don't know, Sherry. We've got 10 anonymous people down here. Who are these people? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I don't really know. I'm terrible at this because here's the thing, Sherry, just like poker, like I'm either all in or I'm not. So like if I touch it, like I'm gonna be like trying to, trying to do what all you guys are doing. Like, figure it all out. Like,
so in other words, Brian just wants to show up.
I'm just not sure. Like,
which is fine. Okay, so let me ask you this.
You got to pick. Well, here's one thing to think about: is how is he? I mean, you got to really look at are they doing the point structure and that kind of how that works, because like a Ryan he's a good friend, Ryan LaPlante or
LaPlante, yeah.
LaPlante. I've only known him for 20 years and don't know how to say his name. Anyway, like Ryan, like I was always like, why aren't you guys picking Ryan? Like, what are you guys doing? And then back then Ryan only played Hold'em, I think. And then he became mixed game guy. But then, you have this whole like high stakes versus low stakes, and then how does that affect the thing?
Right.
So, it seems like it seems like the points are always skewed towards the high stakes mixed game players. Maybe is that what you guys are seeing?
Well, because they also do bonuses for the field size. And now they made a rule change that if you win a bracelet event, the first place person gets a bonus of 25 points. So they'll get 125 points instead of 100 points, which makes the spread between first and second place. Second place gets 90 points. First place will get 125 points, which will give, which it should be. There should be more than 10 points separating the two. So that's a change they made this year as well. But there is field size, there is price point size that, points are evaluated for. So it's not just a cut and dry system, right? There's a lot of, little caveats.
If you give me the rules and how many points the people scored over the last 10 years, along with their social media handles, I'll feed that all into AI and pick our team for us.
Okay, you can go on their website and gather all
my
the
work is done. Thank you, Brian.
You just took away Fatz's homework. You just go on their website.
Oh, no, I don't have time
and all that information's there that you can data mine and feed to AI. But of course, we will take all that into consideration when I go to draft.
Don't forget to run it up against their, last 3 months of social media posts to determine their mindset and availability factor, to throw that in there.
Are they having babies or not? And
babies, yeah. Who was it? There's somebody that's having a baby.
Yep. I don't remember who it is, but we know it's in the chat.
Yeah, might as well take advantage of AI before it takes over the world. So
I love it.
I mean, I've seen Terminator, so I know how it ends.
Well, Brian's been tinkering with that for 2 years, and he actually came up with an AI that he let me listen to about, I don't know, it has to be 2 years now, isn't it? And it was amazing what he came up with. But anyway, all right. So anybody else have any questions, comments?
Yeah. I feel like we should do a rotating thing. I mean, we can discuss in the back channels of people that haven't tweeted out like how much they're gonna play or whatever, and just rotate on who bugs them.
Just remember
about how much they're gonna play.
Right. If you do see something about somebody's schedule, their staking package that they're saying they're not coming, or their schedule's less than last time or half of whatever, don't forget to put it in our group chat so that we are all made aware of whatever. So that when it comes drafting time, I can say, oh no, we're not drafting them. They're having a baby. He's only coming for a week. And last year he played 100 tournaments. So, that's all the information that we want to gather, right?
Well, and we're not really giving out the real deal here, right?
No.
The secret Telegram chat or whatever it is.
No, we're just having some fun and getting everybody's juices flowing, and I really wanted to talk about the name of the team, which I'll go over with you. I'm going to say hello to B first, and then we'll go over the name of the names submitted. Brian, hey B.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just driving around. What is this? What's this about? I don't know. What do you guys got going on?
Okay, so to recap, we have I've put together a team of 10 of us, and we are going to purchase a ODBaker Fantasy League team to sweat for the summer. So this is kind of like a let's just kind of organize and get the juices flowing meeting here.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So you guys are okay. Cool. Yeah, sounds good. All right.
And like I said earlier, if people didn't get on our team, take no offense. It was, I just made up a list of people and kept going down the list until I got 9 other people to agree to do this. So no hurt feelings, anybody.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. No, I know. I know how it works. No, you just once it's built, it's built. Yeah, that's all good.
And I also want to say that, maybe next year we'll do more than one team, maybe adopt a big, 25K team. Fat said that he would put up 24,000 for us. So the rest of us only have to put in 100.
Hell yeah.
I'm lying. I'm making that shit up, B. Don't blame me.
Fat's always so generous.
He is. He is, even when he doesn't know he is.
I'm as generous as the Celtics are to the Knicks.
Oh,
I heard Nomad's collecting 20 win today.
wait, ASG, what did you say about Nomadic?
I said he's collecting the 25,000. Don't worry about it.
Yes, he's my accountant.
I'm sorry, but that's funny as hell. All right, I'm going to go back to so Brian will know the name choices. And basically, Brian, this is not a vote for the name choices. I just want input. And the reason why it's not a vote is because some of the things that were submitted to me are a hard no. And so it's not going to be a vote. But I do want your input if there's some name you prefer more than another, or something you don't like at all. So the team names that were submitted.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, B. Appreciate you. how do you say it, you guys? So shenanigans, but with ERS at the end.
Shenanigans?
Yes, that's it. Okay, so it'd be Team That or Team Spacers, Team Peaches, which I've already crossed off the list, Team Jack King Off, Team Space Spawns, Team Straw Crabs, and I'll explain that one here in a minute, Team Cho Doug, Team Poker Pals, Team Space Cadets. Now, straw crabs was a very creative name that somebody came up with. If you take the word straw and you write it down vertically on a sheet of paper, S and then T under the S, R under the T, so on. It stands for S is for Sherry, T is for Todd, R is for Ryan, A is for ASG, W is for Wolf. The second word is crabs, C is for chess, R is for real fats, A is for Asimov, B is for Brian, and S is for Scumburrows. So it includes all of our names in the word, and it's straw crabs. So Brian, any of those you prefer? Any of those are an absolute no for you? Uh-oh, there he
I'm
is.
just back on this thing. I'm neutral on the name.
Okay,
Sherry.
no worries.
I'm okay with the name.
No worries. I appreciate that input. Of course, it's not going to be jacking off, and it's not going to be peaches. I just put that in there for the fun of it. So,
and I should say it shouldn't be Cho Doug either. That's a Doug Polk code joke.
I agree. It's not going to be Cho Doug. Oh God. I love our group of people and spaces. Everybody's got a great sense of humor and we can have fun with it. So, all right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments, anything they want to bring up at this point? Honestly, I think that, we really can't do much more until two things happen. They release the new information for this year's, teams, and they actually do the draft for the 25K fantasy league. So go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the other thing I liked about the straw crabs or whatever, besides it being ornithes, is because it's that it gives us an easier opportunity to change the name again next year. Whereas, like, if we went with like Space Cadets or something, it would feel like we'd almost feel like we should be doing the same name every year.
All right. I appreciate that input. And I'm just going to say, we're not locked into any name for every year. I'm just going to say that right now. So, doesn't mean we wouldn't use the same name next year. But, and honestly, if we took first place, of course, I would say to you guys, let's use the same name because we're defending champs, right? So, anyway, for what it's worth. Other than that, I can't think of any reason why we'd have to use the same name next year. But anybody else? Any other comments or questions?
If we did go with straw crabs and we won, it's likely we'd still have the same 10 in again the next year. So we'd probably want to keep the name anyway, just because it would still be the same 10.
Right. Great food for thought, people. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. I crossed off peaches, jacking off, and showed Doug. So sorry to those people that submitted those names. Of course, I'm not saying who it was because, that's not what we're about. So anyway, I have nothing else unless somebody else has something to bring up, make comments about. I appreciate everybody for showing up, and those that couldn't make it, they let me know ahead of time, and it's not a problem. Real life.
But for the record, even though you crossed out jacking off, if we're involved in any other kind of endeavors, that doesn't preclude us from jacking off, correct?
Oh my God. I'm just going to ignore that last statement because I'm just going to ignore it. I appreciate you guys joining me this afternoon.
All right. So if we like jacking off, it's okay. It's not going to offend anybody.
Look, stop yourself, Fads, before I have to boot your ass. Oh, God. You're so funny. All right, you guys. I appreciate you. Go have fun on your Saturdays. Of course, hit that group message if you find out any information you want to share with us. And Brian, I'm home all day today working. So if you want to call me, buddy.
Call you what?
Buddy.
I thought you liked Sheriff.
Actually, I like my name, or Peaches, my real nickname. But I don't mind, Sheriff. Don't mind it at all. All right, you guys, I'm signing off. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great weekend. Bye.